Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today is going to be an update video. We're going to be talking about thumbnails and just general updates with the channel, you know, my plans moving forward. And so with that being said, let's just get right into it. Well, the first topic of conversation are these thumbnails. This is the big controversial thing on the channel right now. Now, this has definitely been a big change. This is kind of like the transition zone as I was initially testing out the new thumbnail style. You can see what we had before, right, standing next to the car versus what we have now. And, you know, this isn't a bad style, this original one here. As you can see, actually, this is a bigger picture on the other side. I mean, it's fine, right? I think that that looks professional. And this new thumbnail style seems to be working quite well. I mean, pretty much every single one of my videos that's in the top 50 right now, I think this is, yeah, this is top 50. You can see has, outside of the shorts, right? Shorts are a little bit different. But anyways, you can see all the top ones here have that new thumbnail style. So here are my personal thoughts on the new thumbnails. First off, yeah, they're definitely over the top. They're definitely quite a bit on the cringe side of things is the way that I would describe it. And that's the downside with these new thumbnails is you look at them and you're kind of like, ooh, why are you making that face? Why is your face so big? And the close-up shot of the car is actually, that's the part of the thumbnail that I do really like because my camera actually does really well with those shots versus the distance shots my camera doesn't seem to do as well. And so I actually, you know, I'll say it's a mixed bag, right? They're cringe, but then they're also kind of cool seeing like the close-up of the car. Now, when it comes to upsides, there's actually a lot more upsides than that one downside. And the upsides are, first off, they're actually easier to make. So it saves me time, which means I can spend more time doing other stuff on the channel in the background that needs to be done. And then another upside is viewership. So the main viewership that I have on the channel is from YouTube search. Basically, someone searches up a car review, they see my car review and a bunch of other people's car reviews, and you know, people end up clicking on mine. Sometimes they'll click on other people's, but regardless, I get a lot of traffic from YouTube search, and it's very consistent, right? I just have consistent viewership with that throughout the years. Now, what's less consistent is YouTube's browse feature and Google search. So YouTube's browse feature is the front page of YouTube, and then Google search is you type something into Google and then some, you know, websites will pop up, but then also some videos from YouTube will pop up. And those two areas, they basically tell you to be flashy, right? With Google, if something is flashier, then someone's more likely to just boom, click into it and just see what's going on. And then same thing with the browse feature, right? You got to think this is someone who's not necessarily going to be watching a car review. That's not why they opened up YouTube. They just opened up YouTube to see what's happening. And then when they see something that's kind of flashy, they go, oh, let me click on that just to see what this is, right? And so, yeah, I don't know. I'm still not sold on the idea of the new thumbnails. Like I said, I do want to tweak them over time, but they are also working in the two key areas that I wanted to improve on the channel to basically just increase my overall audience size. And so, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I know a lot of you don't like the new thumbnails, but again, look at it from my perspective where it saves me time and it, other than being very cringeworthy, doesn't seem to have a massive downside. Now, some other general updates with the channel. The new first edition that, well, my new first edition that I bought is going to be getting some tires and wheels. I've got the stock set on right now, which, by the way, if you happen to want this stock set, let me know in the comments and we can work something out because I have no plan of ever changing back to the stock setup on this. But anyways, I'm going to a smaller wheel. These are 18s, I'm going to 17s, and then I'm going to have something that's got a little bit more poke. I'm not doing a negative offset because I don't like Brodozer look. I'm doing kind of a similar setup to what we have on the 200 series where you can see it's pretty flush with the setup. But yeah, I'm excited to see what it looks like. And then the biggest thing is how it performs off-road with that new tire and wheel setup. Now, the next quick one is going to be the Land Cruiser. We're going to have a little bit of a makeover next year, most likely. So this has colored paint protection film on, which is really cool. Like this army green is kind of similar to what you have on the 4Runner TRD Pro. I can't remember what the green was named. But anyways, looks great. It doesn't hold up whatsoever. So like the new Land Cruiser, I put the satin PPF. This stuff holds up really well. I've had vehicles with it for years, and it, like the Wrangler, for example, just does really well. This, yeah, it's just not nearly as good. Never use the product again. So my recommendation, if you're going to do PPF, do either clear or satin. Don't do the colored PPF. It just doesn't hold up. Save your money. And then finally, the Grenadier. So I've got a big update coming soon. I just took it in for its first maintenance. I do want to go over everything that happened there because we did have to fix some stuff. So we'll talk about that in another video. But when it comes to modifications, I have no plans of modifying the Grenadier aside from what it has. Again, I put paint protection film on it, helps out with off-roading a massive amount so you don't scratch the paint. And then I've got 33s on it. So the tire and wheel setup is 285 by 70 by 17, which that is my personal recommendation for the Grenadier. That is the biggest tire you can do without making the speedometer go crazy, right? It's like perfectly calibrated, it seems like, for these tires and wheels when it comes to the Speedo. And then on top of that, fuel economy, and then you don't have to lift it or anything. And so this is like basically stock plus, and I think that testing this out long term as a stock plus car will be the best thing to do to see if it's going to be reliable or if it's not going to be reliable. Now, on car related, I'm really excited to show this. This is the chicken coop we finally got built out. My friend Sam built it for us. His company is Bryant Custom Homes. If you're in Utah and you want something similar done, he does a lot of stuff. This is like complete custom. And when I say completely custom, what he put together is actually really smart. Basically, he took a shed and then he just built out the run attached to the shed. And then there's this little access point for the chickens, as you can see. And the biggest benefit of this is there's tons of space inside for the chickens and then outside as well. And it's a lot less expensive than prefab chicken coops because, again, that shed could be used for multiple purposes. So like the building cost, and that's a lot lower than a coop, right? Something that's built specifically for chickens, because then that's a more specialized item, and specialized items are always more expensive. But I mean, this thing is, here, I'll give you guys like a full view. This thing is absolutely enormous. We've got 12 chickens in there right now. I'm gonna probably jump up to 24 next year, maybe a little bit more. And I'm actually not too concerned about the spacing if I jump up to even like 30 plus, because we are also gonna be fencing the property next year. So there's, I mean, it's gonna be a lot of fencing, but there's a lot of openings here on the property where things can get in and get to the chickens. And so I just want to fence the whole thing to keep stuff out, mostly dogs, basically. And then that'll give the chickens plenty of space, both in here and then in the field and everything, that they can go around and do their chicken stuff. Continuing uncar related, if any of you live in Utah and have some 45-pound plates, and especially rusted 45-pound plates that you want to get rid of, let me know. I'm building an outdoor weightlifting set. I do a lot of functional strength training, and so I want stuff that is not like the nicest, so that as I, have it outside, beat it up and all that kind of stuff, I don't have to feel bad about messing up nice new plates and everything. So if you got stuff like this, or even bumper plates and all that you've used that you don't want anymore, let me know. And on that string of buying and selling stuff, if you're looking for a fancy hot tub, we've got this posted on KSL right now. We're never going to use it, and these aren't safe for kids. Anyways, young kids, to be exact. So if you haven't been looking for one of these, let me know. I want to get rid of it. And so to cap off the video, we will go over some channel updates and some life updates. First off, beard and hair. I'm just trying it out. I've never had a long beard. I've never had long hair before in my entire life. And so far, I actually really like both of them, surprisingly. The beard means I can't eat cereal anymore, which I don't eat that anyways, but I did try like, I don't know, a month ago or something, just because I was bored. And that's the only downside so far. Otherwise, I like not having to shave every single day. I'm one of those people where my beard comes in very fast, so if I don't shave all the time, it just gets absolutely, and it's crazy right now, right? I need to go and trim it up and all that kind of stuff. And then with the hair, I've never had super long hair, so I just want to try it out. I'll see where things take me with that. The next big update is we are selling our old house. We were originally going to keep it to make some good old-fashioned passive income from renting it out, and it just didn't work out. Our house is in a really like bougie, nice area of Utah, which is far from the interstate and far from amenities in general. And so it's hard to rent out. People want to, when they rent stuff out here in Utah, they want to be close to the interstate and they want to be close to food and all this other stuff. And so being a little bit farther out, which in my opinion is not that far out, but that was kind of the feedback we got from people that were looking at it as a potential rental unit. And so we've just decided that it would be best to sell it. And so that's the thing that we'll be focusing on. And what I'm basically going to do, and I can't remember it's not quite a 1031 exchange, but kind of, I can't remember the term for it, but basically because we lived in that house for 2 out of the last 5 years, we sell it and then we don't have to pay capital gains tax or whatever, because it wasn't actually ever used as a rental unit. And I'm just gonna take all the equity and put it into the new house to pay down the mortgage. And then again, I can't remember the term for the other thing, but once you put like a large sum into a house, you can work something out with your mortgage company to lower your overall monthly payment. So we'll also be doing that as well, most likely. It's not a refinance. Again, I can't remember the terms for these. But anyways, that's a big life update. We're selling the old house and we're going to be putting the cash into the new house to get it paid down some more. Now, once all of that is done, once the house is sold and everything, I do plan on doing a little bit more off-road content with the channel. I think that would be really fun. Again, especially the Grenadier, going out and actually testing some of the capabilities of this to see, you know, how it performs. I just haven't had time because of everything that is going on. And, you know, another thing that I'll just be completely transparent with, I've been making 2 mortgages, right, for the last almost 6 months at this point. And so I'm really focused on making sure that everything is like super consistent with the channel so that I'm able to make both of those mortgage payments. And so once the old house is sold and once we put everything into the new house, that'll lower our overall monthly cost by a substantial amount, which means that I can do things that aren't necessarily as related to money. And this leads me into talking about, I guess, the longer term for the channel. So for the next 5 years, and I'm going to say 5 years tentatively because it might be longer, it might be shorter, just depends on what happens, right? You never know. When with YouTube, it can be pretty fickle at times. I want to keep doing what I've been doing on the channel, so doing this full time. After that, I am considering going quote unquote part-time. Now, what I mean by part-time is still way more content than what most people produce. I still plan on doing a review a day. Right now I'm posting 3 reviews per day, so going from 3 down to, what I'll probably do is trickle it down to 2 and then eventually go down to 1. And the reason that I want to do that is not because I'm tired, not because I don't want to do this anymore, but simply because I am thinking about going and getting a traditional job again, which I know might sound weird. Here's where I'm coming from with all this. Once we get the old house sold, then that's going to lower our monthly cost by a very large amount. And that's the only debt that we have. If you don't know, like, all these cars are paid off. We have no student loans. We have no credit card debt, right? We live well below our means, and that will continue into the future. Like, no matter how much money we make, we're going to make sure that we live below our means. And so I don't know, it's gotten me thinking, like, do I want to continue to do YouTube full time? And here's kind of where I'm at with YouTube. I would say the enjoyment with doing this channel is like an 8 or 9 out of 10. So really high, not perfect, right? Whereas when I was doing YouTube on the side and working at the dealership, I would say that my overall enjoyment with work was literally a 10 out of 10 because I loved going in and going through like the high stress environment of car sales and then making the YouTube videos on the side because, like, well, I guess, you know, financially, for example, the dealership was paying all my bills and some, and then YouTube was extra money on top of that. And so I wasn't beholden to the YouTube videos like I am today, whereas, like, if I don't make YouTube videos, then I don't make money, which means I'm not able to pay my bills. I don't know. It's something that I've just been thinking about. And I guess the other part of it is that high stress environment. I really like high strung, high stress environments. And I haven't been able to really experience that for I've been doing this full time now for, I think, about 5 years. Like, there are stresses with YouTube that people don't talk about, but it's not as much in your face. Like, some of the stresses are, you know, you have to talk to YouTube because there's problems happening with your channel that are because of some, like, the AI stuff that YouTube's implemented, for example. That's definitely wreaks some havoc. And so there are stresses, but it's not like someone screaming in your face. And I know that sounds really weird, but I worked in a restaurant before I worked at a dealership, and like restaurant and dealership, both of those industries, you're going to have people screaming in your face and you have to deal with that. And I don't know, I kind of miss it. I don't know why, but it's just like, I think that everyone's built a little bit different, and that's kind of what I'm built for, is just to deal with, the best way to describe it is it's really satisfying when you have a bunch of stuff coming against you and it's like, it feels like everything's going to implode, and then you find a solution and then everything's calm again. Like, I find a lot of joy in that, and so I kind of miss that. And I mean, again, I do get some of that from YouTube, but it's not the same because my day-to-day life with YouTube is driving hundreds of miles every single, not every single day, but every single week. I probably drive like almost 1,000 miles. Like, it's a lot of driving for the channel. So it's like a lot of driving and sitting there and thinking while I'm driving. I don't listen to music, which I know will make people think I'm super weird. And then I film the reviews, right? I'm just sitting in a parking lot for hours on end, filming the reviews, go home, edit the video. So it's very time consuming. Like, there's a lot of work associated with it, but it's not high strung at all. It's just kind of like this calm, smooth sailing. So I don't know. It's just something I'm thinking about. Like I said, this is not going to happen anytime soon. I want to keep doing things how I've been doing them for probably at least 5 years, maybe more, but time will tell on that. Hopefully this was a good update video for you guys, and I'll have more stuff in the future. I'll see you.